Hello and welcome to the first Pelikan puzzles review in 2024. In this video, you will see 3 puzzles designed by Benjamin Hyde, 2 puzzles from Asanori Yamamoto, 1 puzzle from Rattle Twist, and 1 puzzle from Pelikan. And I'll start my review from Parallel Burr Cube number 2. It was designed by Asanori Yamamoto, and this puzzle was made using 2 different types of wood, babinga and limba. The Parallel Burr Cube number 2 has 6 parts and a frame, and the goal of the puzzle is obviously to remove all 6 parts from the frame. But this puzzle is quite tricky, since once you start solving it, you will find that you can move this part, and you think like, oh, this is the first piece to start. But then you will find that this is not the only piece that you can start with. You can also start with moving these parts, or maybe even moving one of these parts. So there are too many starting points, and you have to exclude some of them and find the only correct one that will be the beginning of the solution, which will be quite difficult solution, since you can't see what is happening inside. Until you remove the first piece, you don't know what is happening in. But once you remove it, it doesn't really help you a lot. You can see some of the internal parts, but still it takes quite some time before you will find how to remove the next piece, since all of them are like tied in a knot inside, and you have to find a way how to untie all the parts. Great puzzle, quite solvable even if you don't have a lot of experience in puzzles. And the name of the next puzzle is Flamax. It was designed by Benjamin Hyde. This puzzle was made using 2 different types of wood, maple and purple heart. Benjamin Hyde is a new name, at least for Pelikan. I've never seen any puzzles from him before, and Pelikan started by producing 3 of his designs, and they are all quite nice. Flamax is a 6-piece burr puzzle. It requires 23 steps to take it apart, with 13 steps for the first piece, which is not a lot for such puzzle, and a lot of people will be able to take it apart and even reassemble it back together without using any help. This puzzle has quite a small size. Usually puzzles of such shape are created by Pelikan in much bigger size, but this one is quite small, like a Rubik's Cube size. The name of the next puzzle is Rattle Twist Duo. It was designed by Asanori Yamamoto from Japan. This puzzle was made using 3 different types of wood, maple, jadoba and zebrano. This puzzle is quite unusual, since it comes with an extra piece, an extra frame. The goal of the puzzle is to remove the parts from this frame and then put them inside of this frame. The first frame, the bigger one, reminds me of another puzzle designed by Asanori Yamamoto, One Flower. If you are watching my reviews of Pelikan puzzles for a while, you probably remember this puzzle. It also has 2 parts, and the goal was to remove them from the frame. Here's a little bit similar but completely different solution. Also very enjoyable, not a very difficult puzzle. You can actually solve it absolutely unconsciously, like watching TV, playing with the puzzle, and in one moment the parts will be outside the frame and you will be surprised like how it even happened. But then you have to put everything back to this frame or back to the first frame again. So great puzzle, not a very difficult, but a nice addition to any puzzles collection. And here is the second design from Benjamin Hyde in this release. The name of the puzzle is Apple Tree. It is made from 3 different types of wood, acacia, walnut and paduk. This puzzle has 13 parts, including the tree trunk, and the goal of the puzzle is to take it apart and reassemble it back together, so that on each side of the tree you will have 3 apples. So it's kind of assembling puzzle. You disassemble it first, but then you have to reassemble it in a different way. It will be exactly the same shape, but you have to find the correct position of each part, so that on each side there will be 3 apples. Like here you will see only 1, on this side only 2, on this side only 3. On top and the bottom parts of the tree there is supposed to be no apples at all. The puzzle isn't very difficult to take apart. It will be possible to disassemble it, but the assembling will be quite a challenge, since you can imagine that there are 13 parts here, and once you start assembling them, you have to hold like 5-6 pieces in hands, and they are falling apart. But you still have to add another piece and another piece until the shape will be stable enough so that you can hold it with just one hand. So it will be quite a challenge to assemble everything back together. But it's a very nice looking puzzle. You can put it on your puzzle shelf and it looks like a beautiful tree. The name of the next puzzle is Fillin V. It was designed by Dr. Rattle Twist from Germany. This puzzle was made using two different types of wood, acacia and cherry. The goal of the puzzle is obviously to fit all parts inside the frame. As you can see, the frame is quite large. It is 3 by 3 by 3 voxels, and you will find that there is space inside between the parts, just enough to fit this piece. And at first glance, it may look like an easy puzzle. There are only 7 parts, 6 of them have this L shape, exactly the same 6 parts, and the last piece has a smaller L shape or a V shape, and it is not enough space for it. But the puzzle isn't that easy. It has quite a nice trick, and I was lucky enough to test this puzzle before it was released by Pelikan. Dr. Volker Latusek sent me an STL file for 3D printing, and as soon as I found solution, I said that this puzzle has to go to production since it is amazing. It has a nice aha moment, and for first like 20-30 minutes, you're trying to fit the parts inside through this opening, and you think that it is easy. Then you start thinking that it is impossible, and then you find that aha moment, and you're like, wow, that's a great puzzle. So highly recommend it. I bet it will be sold out, one of the first in this release. The name of the next puzzle is MRI. It is the third design from Benjamin Hyde in the next Pelikan release. The puzzle is made from mixed woods and magnets. At least that's what was written on the package. The puzzle really looks like an MRI machine. And from Kevin Sadler's blog, I found that Benjamin Hyde is a technician who operates MRI machines in hospitals. That's where he probably got his inspiration for the puzzle. By the way, subscribe to Kevin Sadler's blog. He writes not only great reviews of Pelikan releases, but reviews of other puzzles that he buys for his collection. Link to his blog will be in the video description. The MRI is a new type of puzzle for Pelikan since it's not a burr puzzle, it's not an assembling puzzle. The goal here is to remove this little dude from the MRI machine. And the only tool that you have is this tiny metal ball, which is not allowed if you go into a real MRI since these machines are actually like a huge magnet, and any piece of metal that's inside of your body will act like a bullet and will rip a hole in your body if it goes through it. But since it's not a real MRI machine, we can use some metal parts here. The ball comes right here on a puzzle. There is a magnet there which is holding the ball. You can remove it and then use it somehow to remove this little dude. This is kind of a puzzle box or a trick box where you have to find a way how to unlock this guy and remove it. How to do that? You don't see what is happening inside. You don't see the mechanics, what is there, but you can hear that there are probably metal pins inside, and you have to find the correct way how to unlock them to remove this little guy. The puzzle isn't really hard. It takes probably like 10 minutes to solve it. At least it took me not more than 10 minutes to solve it, but it is something really, really beautiful and a new puzzle type for Pelikan. And the last and the biggest puzzle in this release, it is called Matchbox Playground. It was designed by Petr Gal and made from 4 different types of wood: jatamba, venge, maple and cherry. The puzzle comes in a box that looks like a matchbox. It even has these darker sides on the left and right sides of the box. You have to open it, remove the lid, you don't need it anymore. And inside you will find a bunch of smaller matchboxes of different kinds, like they have these two parts connected in a different way. And there is also an envelope that explains you how to play this puzzle. There are a bunch of cards here, from 1 to 30, as I guess. And the goal will be here to assemble something from like 3 matchboxes together up to 13 matchboxes. This puzzle is inspired by Oscar van Deventer's matchboxes. They had only this puzzle had only 5 matchboxes, but Petr Gal decided to analyze all possible variations, and he came up with 14 matchboxes, which you can try to solve by putting them together in multiple challenges that are provided. There is an extra challenge to this puzzle. Try to put everything back inside of the box and then put the envelope inside and lock the box, since it is very difficult to find the right way to put all parts back inside. So just a small extra challenge. I don't know if the puzzle designer came up with it or Pelikan, but it is really difficult to find how to put everything back inside. Matchbox Playground is a multiple challenge puzzle that will take weeks, maybe months, or even years to find all the possible solutions to all challenges. And it is very well made, and it will be a nice gift to someone who enjoys puzzles, or maybe to yourself, since this puzzle is really something that you have to have in your puzzle collection. All these 7 beautiful puzzles will be released in just 2 days on Wednesday, February 21st, 2024 at 2 p.m. Central European Time at pelicanpuzzles.eu. Don't forget to set up your alarms so you don't miss a chance to buy these amazing puzzles. Thank you for watching. See you next time.